Hi, it's JP Smith, and welcome back to Boxing Saves Lives, or as this week's edition is called, Kickboxing Saves Lives. I've just spoken to Aiden Patsalides to discuss how he thinks the lives of young people, and indeed the lives of older people, can be changed by coming into a kickboxing gym. Aiden is a coach at Luton Storm Gym, which has been around for about 21 years. And he will talk me through his experience of life at the gym and how things move towards gyms reopening on July 25th. Just as we started our interview was when the news broke that gyms were reopening, and I cannot begin to stress enough so much of the hard work that is being done by people like the people who own Storm Gym, Paul and Amir, in making sure that those gyms are perfectly safe for young people to come back into. And I just wanted to say, sit back and relax and enjoy this. It's amazing the similarities between how kickboxing works and how boxing works and the difference it can make to young people's lives. So I wanted to thank Aiden for taking part in this interview, and hopefully maybe we could do a little interview down at Storm Gym with Paul or Amir in the coming weeks, just as they get ready to open the doors again. Enjoy. Hello mate, how are you?
How you doing, mate? Nice to see ya.
How you been?
Not too bad, mate. I'm better now they've announced the gyms can open on the 25th.
Oh, I couldn't. You know what? It was music to my ears. I had a text message from somebody today just to say all of that. So absolutely buzzing for you.
I know, mate. Can't wait. The girls are looking forward to it. Training's been a bit slack. I'm not going to lie. I think the girls have been enjoying the time off, but
Yeah.
you know they're training 5-6 times a week. So you know, I spoke to Amir about it, and I said to Amir like, you know, struggling to motivate the girls. We're bickering when it's time to train, and Amir just said, he said, Aiden, you know, the girls train so hard. Let them have some time off. So
Yeah.
that's what we've done.
Brilliant, man. And just to tell anybody who's kind of watching now is that Aiden's got, 4 young girls who are involved in the sport of K1 kickboxing. We've got a couple of girls who've won titles, over the last over the last couple of years. Roma especially has won world titles.
Yeah.
And, you've got Roma, Isla, Luca and Thea. Now,
Correct. Yeah.
each one of those girls trains quite hard with Storm Gym. I was saying to people
Yeah.
that the gym's been around for about 20 years now. Really got a great base behind you.
Yeah.
And so you're just basically telling me how it's been a lockdown for the young girls.
That's it. Yeah. And I know the gym now have started doing the classes outside from a couple of weeks
Yeah,
ago. So
yeah,
they've started to pick up a bit of momentum now. But there's only so much you can do outside, and a lot of technical stuff, I think. So
yeah.
now the gyms are open. Hopefully, you know, everyone's back at it.
That's great. And you know what, mate? Just tell us a little bit, Aiden, about how you got to be involved in Storm Gym and all that. And, tell us a bit more about kickboxing K1.
I went to Storm Gym in the early days when it was above ASDA, probably 2006-ish.
Yeah,
And then I had my first daughter, Thea, my eldest, and kind of just disappeared and went off the radar for a couple of years.
yeah,
And then I drove past the new premises about 3 years later, and I see the signs going up. So I
yeah,
popped my head in, it was all being built, and Amir was in there, and I had a chat with Amir. Then I went back down there, and then, you know, it went from there. I spent a lot of time in there, and I started bringing the girls, Thea and Roma. They were babies. Roma was 3.5, first kickboxing class.
yeah,
And so I was down there, you know, a few times a week with the kids, and then Amir was somewhere, and then I was training myself as well, so
right.
shadowing Amir. And then I can remember one weekend, I think Amir was cornering someone out of the country. One of his fighters had a fight out of the country. I think Andrew Tate was fighting in France or somewhere
Yeah,
for a world title, and I kind of ended up helping out in one of the kids' classes, and then it just snowballed from there. And then I was just helping Amir all the time, shadowing him, going to fight shows with him, watching him wrap hands, corner. I just lived on his shoulder for years
yeah,
and years and years. And then it went from there. And then I started, you know, doing my own classes and having a bit of responsibility with the fighters, which was nice. And then, you know, we got quite a little crew together of the youngsters going around the country. And then it went from there. And that's how I got into K1. And then
yeah,
obviously we got into the promoting. And
yeah.
then, as you know, you've been there from the beginning. So, you know, sincerely thank you for that. and from that's just snowballed crazy.
Yeah.
And here we are now.
Brilliant. And so, what I deal a lot with obviously boxing saves lives, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. So just getting the word out about it, setting people up for, when gyms reopen, for getting some new eyes on the gyms, and me, obviously look out for your side of the sport. So anybody who's watching it, and tell somebody, you said your girls are involved in the sport, as we know that. Tell us a little bit of how somebody from outside the sport would look at K1. How would you explain kickboxing to somebody now from outside the sport? Because they would obviously look at it from, gosh, what's all that about?
Yeah, of course. So K1 is a type of kickboxing. You get different types of kickboxing: full contact, above the waist, etc., etc. And K1 is a form of kickboxing. So in traditional kickboxing, you can't knee. In K1, you can knee. You can knee once and let go. So yeah, it's a form of kickboxing, but it's for me, it's more designed, aggression. So the aggressor, the person who wants to fight more, the more aggressive fighter who causes the most damage, he scores points. Where in Muay Thai, for instance, fighter A could be knocking fighter B's head off his shoulders. But then, the lad getting busted, if he kicks him in the stomach in the midriff, he scores much bigger. Right. So, if you're a casual fan and you go to watch a Muay Thai fight, you might think, someone's, absolutely, give someone a beating, and the other guy might win because it's more skill and technique. But with K1, I think if you're a stranger and you go to a K1 show, you know who's won. Who stands there in the middle of the ring? They take control of the ring. They want to fight more. They're more aggressive. They come forward. They're scoring. They're scoring. So, and it's a normal K1 pro fight is 3-minute rounds. So you haven't got time to mess around. That's the whole point. You stand in the middle of the ring and you go for each other. 3 threes. Title fight is 5 threes. So there's no time to dance around the ring. Waste time. The whole point is you stand there, you've got 3 minutes, and whoever causes the most damage, they're going to win.
Yeah, I mean, you can draw little parallels with that with amateur boxing, because amateur boxing is about getting in, letting off shots, getting in and getting out. Whereas pro boxing, you can get involved, you get more in the mix of it, and kind of tear it up a little bit,
Yeah.
So we kind of met through Jordan Reynolds, and I always say through Jordan Reynolds is that Jordan is the kind of person who is very good at amateur boxing, of course, because he almost made the Olympics, but more suited to pro boxing because he loves to get in there and get involved and, get swinging and all that, as opposed to getting in and getting out.
I think that's the Lutonian blood in him, must be.
I think you're about right, yeah. Because that's how we came to be, because Jordan told me about your show coming on a few years ago, your first ever Amateur King show, and that's how I got to be coming down to see you in that.
That's right, yeah. Jordan, obviously Jordan's a friend of the family, and he come down to the first show to show some support, and he done a little exhibition in the ring, which was nice, just to show some support and a bit of social media. And he said to me, it's a boxing report, Aiden, he really wants to come down. And I said to him, like, well, it's not a boxing show. I don't know, I don't know how he's going to enjoy it. But he said, look, he wants to come down, give him a seat, give him a ticket, and he'll do a little write-up. I said, all right, why not? Obviously, you came down. That was it. After that, it's some of the best coverage we've ever had, and
wow.
I mean, the write-ups we get are unbelievable. I mean, as you know, we get a lot of people fighters from Holland, Belgium, France, Germany, and a lot of them comment. They all follow the Boxing Luton page now, and a lot of them comment on your on your commentary, on your live commentary on Facebook. I've seen your commentary and write-ups. I've seen them shared to all sorts of pages in Holland, Germany. A lot of yeah. So I think there's a lot of grateful young fighters out there that you've helped put on the map as well. So kudos, mate.
Wow, I didn't even know that, mate, honestly, because I just kind of go there on the day and just see how it goes and all that and try and do my live updates. So that's amazing, man. I didn't even know that.
yeah. Honestly, I've seen your write-ups on all sorts of pages over the pond.
Oh, that's amazing. That is awesome, man. So, Aiden, when we do go to shows, and actually, this is a good point to make, is that you'll have a good mixture, because we'll start off at the very beginning of a show where you'll have the young kids who are getting involved in the show, and they'll
Yeah,
start fighting. And then, like what you would call in boxing the skills match, like an exhibition
yeah,
with no
yeah.
scope.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
later on, and even we'll move on to the adults.
yeah,
Now, you've described us perfectly how the adults get up and get into the ring, and just like boxing, they get in and they'll tear it up.
yeah,
But tell us a little bit about the young kids and the rules that are involved in that, because obviously they're young children who come in and do a little bit of kickboxing. So what's
yeah.
different for them than adults?
I mean, as you know, there's a lot of stigma around, a lot of opinions around youngsters doing martial arts, not just
Yeah,
K1, any type of martial arts. Is it, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I mean, unfortunately, if you listen to some people, you think that the kids are getting put in a car park, and have to fight to the end. But
yeah,
rules on our show: kids under 14 can't fight headshots.
yeah, they can, yeah.
So and it's only body contact only. And so it's all body contact. They're wearing shin guards. They're wearing body armor. Um, they're wearing 10-ounce gloves. I mean, some of these youngsters wearing 10-ounce gloves. They can barely lift their hands up.
Yeah, I
So
was going to say, because the little tiny hands, don't they? So whereas we would wear
yes,
maybe 16 ounce or something for sparring or something,
yeah,
that's like them wearing
they're
two
huge.
gloves, really.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, you've got the body protectors on. You've got so it's full protective equipment. And I mean, you know, more of a confidence thing for them little ones. They get in. It's a lot of skill. And there's no headshots, and so it's just about getting the confidence up. Getting the confidence up.
And so the very very young kids, I said they wear head guards, they wear body like an armor
Yes, correct.
placard.
Yeah,
I can't remember the word like you call it.
yeah,
As you said,
body armor. Yeah.
shoes, body
Mhm.
armor, yeah.
Yeah.
So when you get young kids to come into the gym,
Mhm.
where did it come from, Aiden? How does a young kid actually come into a kickboxing gym?
I mean, honestly, I mean, you've been in the gym, you've seen it. We've got kids from every nationality, background, every corner of Luton.
Yeah,
Sometimes we get kids come in the door, and then mum and dads will bring the kids in, and they'll say to Amir, he's getting in trouble in school, she's getting in trouble in school, or they've got too much energy at home, and I mean, prime example from a kid who sometimes it's easy, it's easy to write off, and it changes lives. It does change lives. And what I hear a lot of in the gym is the parents saying to myself and Amir is, since so and so's been doing Thai boxing, kickboxing, the martial arts, concentration in school's a lot better, behavior at home's a lot better,
that's
a
great.
lot less aggression towards their brothers and sisters. So it's just all positive, and it's more about mental building, and as much as it's about the physical.
Yeah. So when the kids come into your gym for the first time, do what I found? Let me explain this to you. And this is, I went from your gym a few months ago over to meet some people over at Liam Conroy's gym in Dunstable,
Okay. Yeah.
and I was talking to somebody there, and they're asking me about they were watching the young kids training in his gym, and
Okay.
they were absolutely astonished, how disciplined the kids were. And I was trying to explain to them that I popped into the gym at Storm Gym, and I'd gone in there, and there must have been 30 kids training in there, and I was standing there chatting to Amir, and then all the children stopped. It wasn't they stopped till halfway through, as they were running around, stopped, and all said hello to me, really respectfully. They stopped the session, and he just carried on. Like, they all carried on. Somebody came in, made
Yeah.
me a cup of tea. As I was leaving, I'd been chatting to him for half an hour. As I left, children stopped, all waved goodbye to me. And always just kind of real
Yeah.
respect among the young children. It was amazing. Like, it's just like,
Yeah.
and when I was up at Liam's gym, and they were really impressed with what they were seeing with the kids, running around, as in running around, as in doing a little circuit. And I
Yeah.
said, you know what, this is great here, and I love it. I said, but you should have seen what I just saw down the road down at Storm Gym. Do you know what I mean? Amazing.
Yeah. It is, and I mean, Amir's got like these fundamental rules that all the kids get, taught. Rule 1 and rule 2, rule 3, and somewhere along is, respect your elders, respect your parents, and a lot of the parents come in and they say to Amir, so and so's been playing up this week, his behaviour hasn't been great. So Amir's like, okay, they can come in the gym, but they're not training today. You know, so and they can't train again until mum and dad comes back in and says, you know what, you know, their behaviour's picked up. So yeah, I mean, with the little ones, the first, I'd say, 10 lessons is more about, discipline, line up, hands by your side, over contact or too much, intense training. It's just, like I said, more about discipline, being switched on, and then that's when they progress. Once they've got the fundamentals of, like I said, just discipline, listening, knowing the rules of the gym, respecting their teammates, respecting their coach, and that's when, you put the boxing gloves on then, and you get to go on the bag and stuff.
And so what's the youngest age that you actually accept in Storm Gym?
It was 4. I think it's 4. Yeah, it was 4. I mean, Roma started at 3.5, but she was like really switched on. But I think it used to be bring your child. We'll see how they get on, But I think now it is just 4 years old.
Yeah. Oh, okay. But again, you're literally just talking about children who are doing little circuits and stuff, and doing little things. You're not talking about them roundhousing each other around the place.
No, it's yeah,
just fitness.
It's the first like I said, the first few sessions, and especially with the young ones, it's running, press up, squats, just the basics, just the basic fundamentals of training.
And with those young people, in what way? So when they come into the gym and they start doing that and they start doing a little bit of training, what I'm trying to explain to people when that happens in boxing is that, only about 40% of the people who do that actually go to do something inside the ring or inside, any kind of competition. A lot of them basically just come there for fitness and, as you said, just to kind of get some aggression out, as they say.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same with the kids, same with the adults. There's no rule when you walk into the gym you have to fight. I mean, there's kids that have been coming for years and years and have never stepped foot in the ring, and then there's kids that have come down and after a month, they want to do interclubs. Obviously, like interclubs, like you said, I think boxing is like a more of a skills bout. It's where other gyms come to our gym and. They'll fight each other, and there's no winner or loser. So, and there's kids that have been training for years, and just they're just not interested. But it's each to their own. Some of them want to come down and train and fight, and some of them don't. So, you respect that, and as long as they're giving 100% and they're listening, being respectful, polite, and respecting the gym, their teammates, then it doesn't matter. As long as you're coming in, you want to be part of the family. And that's whether you fight or not is irrelevant.
And Aiden, with all this going on, and we've had lockdown now for 3.5 months, something like that. I mean, my biggest concerns and why I started the whole Boxing Saves Lives, community interest, the non-profit thing, is that I wanted to raise awareness for, a lot of the things that are going on behind the scenes. That kids getting drawn into criminality. Want to start looking at things like concentrating on helping people who, like older people, who are maybe, caught up mental health issues and want to get out of the house and stuff like that. How do you think it's affected some of the young people who've come into your gym by not being able to get in to see the sessions and do the sessions?
Yeah, I mean, this the thing. I think it has affected people because, I mean, I know, coming from a personal point of view, I'm a full-grown man. If I'm not training properly, my head's all over the place. Same with my girls as well. Their behaviour's been a little bit not what it usually is, and they're not channeling their energy. And with some kids, whether it's boxing, karate, Storm Gym, whatever, sometimes it can be a bit of an escape, a little break from whatever it is going on in their lives, because you don't know what's going on. You just don't know what's going on at home, and so I think sometimes that little hour, a couple of times a week in the gym, is a lot more than you realise. So, I mean, I'd say, unfortunately, it's been a lot tougher for some kids than it has for others.
And when I speak to other people, a lot of it will be saying the kids will want to get back because A, it's a social thing for them. B, it's the physical, like you just said, they want to get out and channel their energy. And it's a little bit of escapism for them. And of course, then the parents like ourselves, I've been working from home in lockdown. I know you're out, with your firm and that, and, it's a chance for the parents to get a bit of time back as well,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know, because some of the parents, you know, I mean, there's been some great friendships formed down the gym amongst the kids, but like you said, amongst the parents as well. I mean, a lot of the mums down the gym now, you know, they've got a group chat and they all go out to socialise, and the dads do the same. I
Yeah.
mean, while the kids are training, some of the dads get together and they train as well. But like you said, you know, I think it gives the kids an hour's break. The adults, sorry, you know, having the kids in
Yeah.
the gym for an hour, it gives them a bit of peace and quiet. So honestly, I think there's a lot of positive energy and a lot of happy people today, kids and adults, that the gyms are going back on the 25th.
Perfect. I know that's really. I know there'll be restrictions in place and all of that, and I know,
Yeah,
from reading your updates how incredibly important making sure that everything is safe for kids.
yeah.
And to be honest, despite what we talk about at the start, and a lot of the big fights and the adults fighting, K1 and your shows and all the stuff you do is very, very, very safely conscious as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, we've got all our assurance in place. I mean, you know yourself, we have paramedics on site. We have an ambulance in the car park. We will not start any fight until Doctor is ringside.
Yeah.
So, you know, unfortunately, you know, I've been to some shows, and I'm sure you have, where it's a little bit. But when it comes to the kids shows, when it comes to any show really, but where ours is predominantly a junior show, like I said, paramedics, ambulances, doctor ringside, you know, vigorous checks, you know, before the kids go out to fight. I mean, they have a medical on the morning. I mean, there's been times the medics have pulled people from the fight. I've had a few adults pulled from the fight because
Yeah.
their blood pressure won't come down, and even some kids sometimes, you know, when they get themselves so worked up. The
Yeah.
medic said to me, you know, I don't advise this youngster here to get in the ring, and that's it. You know, that's what the medics are there for. We take their advice.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's we all love the sports that we're involved in, but the most important thing is that people are getting the absolute maximum out of it, because we want everybody to enjoy it, go home
God
safely
safe.
every time. Do you know what I mean? That's
Couldn't agree
so
with you more, mate.
important. Like, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So, in with other people now, we've talked a lot about young people who get involved in gym, but now me and you we're of a certain age. Let's be honest there, but there must be men in their late 20s like us, but but other
Yeah.
people who are older, other people who are older have come down to Storm Gym and that. So, what is their motivation about coming to a K1, a kickboxing gym?
Yeah, again, it's, you know, it's you've got you've got such a variety of people. I mean, you've got women's only classes now because, you know, some women don't want to train with men. So you have a couple of
Yeah,
women's only classes that run behind closed doors a few times a week. You've got more of
yeah,
a beginners sessions for everybody, and then you've got intermediate, and then you've got fighters classes, and then Amir does like fighters classes behind closed doors. So, you know, the ability is for everyone. Some people come down to lose a bit of weight
yeah,
and get fit. Others come down for, you know, self-defense, self-confidence. Others come down because they want to fight. So, you know, people have this ideology, like in a you know, a martial arts gym, especially Storm Gym. You know, Storm Gym is you know, Amir being ex Bosnian military. You know, it can be quite regimented in there. And I
yeah,
think people have this, you know, idea that, you know, if you come through the doors and you've got a fight and it's Fight Club
yeah,
straight away, it's absolutely ridiculous. There's people been going there for a long time and they haven't even sparred yet because they don't want to.
yeah, yeah,
And you've got people that have been coming there for, Amir's got students that have been coming for 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years and never got, and I've never got in the ring, not even done it in the club.
yeah.
So it's just it's a mixture of people. It is a mixture of people. Beginners, intermediates, world champions, people that come in the gym and don't even go next door. They stay and use the weights. So there is a massive variety of people in there.
And that's one thing and that's something I really want to emphasize to people as well. Whether we're talking about kickboxing or boxing, is that you can go to a boxing gym, you can get all the benefits of a boxing gym without ever getting involved in boxing. Now, I don't want to put people off, but at the same time, I want people to experience the great work that people like yourself and coaches are doing within communities, and I need people to see that. I don't want people to be put off from it, and this is what Boxing Saves
No,
Lives is about, because they think that they're going to be going to be put on some sort of a show and thrown into a boxing ring or a
no,
kickbox.
no,
I really don't want people to think like that. That's never the case.
no, not at all, mate. Not at all. That, you know, that's just not the case. And You know, I think that's why the gym do first session free in Storm Gym. I know the first session is free for anyone. So come down and, you know, just see what it's about. And even with the kids, the little ones, you know, sometimes the little ones, they come, they really enjoy it, and their mum and dad say to me, can I buy the gloves? Can I buy the shorts? Can I buy the body pad, the gum? And Amir says, no. Amir says, let them do 10 sessions. Let them do 10 sessions. If
Yeah.
they still like it after 10 sessions, then you can spend a few quid, get the shorts, get the boxing gloves, and so forth. So there's no pressure anyway, you know?
That's great. And what I want to do, and I've been trying to explain this to people before at the moment, is I want to start arranging some funding to try and get what I call a boxing bursary. So
Right?
kids who are, who are basically, who parents are struggling,
Yeah.
or parents who, or we think that maybe money might be a barrier to them going into a kickboxing gym. I will include kickboxing gyms in this as well.
Yeah.
I just want to create a boxing bursary or kickboxing bursary so that those kids are not prohibited from coming out, getting away from harm, finding a safe space in a gym like yours. So that's what I'm looking to create now, so that isn't. Because I would hate to think, Aiden, that a young kid ended up getting themselves caught into something on the streets just
Yeah.
because they couldn't afford to come into a gym.
I
I would
agree.
hate that.
It would be devastating, and especially down Storm Gym, you know, it's not a commercial gym. I mean, there's kids come down there sometimes, you know, they forget to bring their water, or you know, and you know what I mean. It's like, you know, if a kid's down there, you know, he's not going to see him die first. He'll give them water, you know, he'll lend them, you know, boxing gloves, and you know, and like you said, with these, you know, these small boxing locally run gyms, I mean, you know, you've been in these yourself. You know, they're run on. They're not massive money makers. You know, they're not big money earners. You know, I think most months, most, you know, independent, you know, martial arts gyms, I think they're clapping their hands if they pay the bills each month. So you know, these little gyms, they're fundamentally just run on, you know, good energy and love. I know it sounds very cliche, but you know,
I know.
it's like one big family around there. I mean, I've met some amazing friends through the gym. Um, it's a wonderful thing. So I really do support what you're doing. I think it's brilliant, and I'd like everyone to try and get behind it a little bit more. Because, like you said, an hour out of the house for a little one that's having a bit of a hard time at school, a little bit of a hard time at home, it can, you know, you don't know what anyone's going through. You just don't
It
know.
could change their life. Do you know what I mean? It could make a difference. It could rein them in. And always say to people, Aiden, about that self-worth. If you can feel a bit better yourself, you know what I mean? Feel a
Yeah,
bit better, get rid of that aggression, take that into school where you're no longer kicking back at teachers, kicking back at parents,
definitely. Yeah,
building your self-worth. And I often say to young kids, say kids of 12 or 13 could be at each other. If you can build up a kid's self-worth, they could be able to go and say no to things that could cause them harm, Aiden, and then say to their mates, don't get involved with that. We could do better than that. Let's not. And
that's it.
young kids can self-police each other, and that could be so much better all around,
It
couldn't it?
is. I mean, I think a lot of these kids are making, you know, I grew up in a council estate like many other people in kickboxing, boxing, martial arts gyms, wherever. And I think what it is with these youngsters is not having the confidence to say no.
Yeah,
You know, not having the confidence to make the right decisions because, you know, I've been there. You know, you easily led down the garden path. It's easily done. You know, I mean, Jordan Reynolds nearly never got where he got. I think that is a classic tale of how boxing saved his life,
yeah.
and he'll be the first to tell you that. So yeah, I mean, it is. It's about giving them confidence and, you know, confidence to make the right decisions.
Yeah. And it's just, all we can do is do our little bit, mate. Try and get people into the gyms, go and help these young kids and you know what, you're right what you said in about the family atmosphere, because when I mentioned earlier about the respect among the young kids, that goes into the show, because when they go to the events, we have the big amateur king events you can see the great family. Everybody's kicking around together. Do you know what I mean? There must be about 250,000 Patsalides there. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people there. But no,
You
but
know what I mean?
honestly, they've
You're
got
not
so
wrong.
many people from all different families kicking in together. Do you know, it's mad. It's brilliant.
I mean, you know, again, Amateur King is not. It's not a big money spinner.
No.
It's something that, you know, me and Amir decided to do to put kids on the map. You know, we were doing a lot of travelling up and down the motorway every single weekend. Sheffield, Barnsley, Manchester, Leeds, and then we thought, okay, let's try and get something a bit close to home, and then, you know, it snowballed from there. But as far as support, like you said, goes, my my show is run on support, and volunteers. My family, people from the gym. without people like yourself, selfless. Without people like that, we have no show, because I physically can't afford to pay every single person to help.
Yeah.
So it is run on volunteers. I'm not going to hide the fact that the people that you see helping on a ticket desk, the people that you see helping put the rubbish away, put the chairs out, they are helpers. Yourself. I mean, just putting it out there, and without you guys, we do not have a show. We do. It's all well and good me and Amir putting it together. Matchmaking. That's the easy part. It's
I disagree. I know what you mean. A lot of airport runs on the night before, but yeah, go on.
It's logistically on the day. It's all the help, and people just sharing a post, sharing a poster. It's amazing. I mean, I've seen Amir does the pro shows, Super Fight Series, like one of the biggest pro K1 shows in the country. And with the pros, they get paid. So, I mean, sometimes I see Amir pulling his hair out. You've got a fighter who's getting a good, decent purse, and they've not even bothered to share their poster. They've not even bothered to do any sort of promotion. And with Amateur Kings, you've got young lads and young fighters asking people to sharing their social media, sharing. I've had kids bringing their headmasters to the show, their PE teachers, their school friends. So I just honestly, I don't think I'd ever dip my toe into the pro circuit.
Yeah.
It seems like bloody hard work, and it can seem quite not prima donnas from what I can make out. But with the amateurs, the buzz where I get is, watching these youngsters and even the adults, start to make a bit of a name themselves. First time in the ring, getting their first medal, getting their first win. I've had youngsters handwrite me letters saying, best day of my life, can't thank you enough. And it's that's what it's all about. It's not about the money, because I'd do something else.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. It's like you wouldn't be doing it. Or you would find that weekend to do something. In fact, the week's building up all the time. That could be somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? But love it.
The rewards are unbelievable. I always say to myself, believe it or not, I think it's my last one, because they are in all seriousness, they are time consuming. I have got a job, so they're very, very time consuming, and it can be stressful. And I always say to myself the day before, I say to my family and the kids, and I say, this is going to be the last one. I said, I think it's going to be the last one now, because I'm getting a bit tired. And then each one just somehow surpasses itself, and I just think, how can I knock it on the head?
But that's the I you know what, I've seen you before. We've spoken on Fight Week, and like you're like, oh, I nearly knocked it on the head. Things so much was going wrong. But then the show comes, and then the kids are there, and the families are there, and the atmosphere is mental, and the roof is going off, and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe.
How can you? And especially on the last one, because obviously I fought myself, and I thought promoting a show was hard, but promoting a show and doing a fight camp, well, that's a different kettle of fish. Never again. I mean, I'll fight again, but never on my own show. I think that was a big lesson learned there. But yeah, I mean, I always say it's my last one, but mate, I don't know. We're going to keep going. Why people are coming through the door, and while we get the feedback we're getting, then for me, we'll stop when people are no longer getting a buzz out of it. But at the minute, it's just going from strength to strength.
And so you hoping maybe, to maybe get something done before the end of the year then, or maybe not, or November maybe, or?
Obviously we've lost a couple. We lost one in April, one in July, and we've got one scheduled for December. So let's see what the government guidelines are to do with training, because if no one's sparring and no one's doing pad work, then unless everyone's 100% fight fit, I don't want them in the ring. If people are just doing road running, skipping, shadow boxing, I don't want to put on a show with 50 half-fit fighters. It's a recipe for disaster. And in all serious, we need people through the door. We need bums on seats to put the show on. So if people are still a bit unconfident about large crowds, then I can't risk it, because I need 500 people through the door to put this show on. So so let's just see. Let's get the gyms open. Let's see. I mean, Amir's got one in October. He's got a really big one in October. I think that's doing really well. So let's see how Amir's one goes in October, and then we'll go from there. But we have got one penciled in for December, and I'd like to say put it on. If we don't, we'll get Christmas out of the way, and we'll do a big one in February, March.
February, March, brilliant. And as you said, as you rightly again, we go back to the very start. as long as it is safe to do it, that's the most important thing. Adults are safe, kids are safe to train. You know what I mean? You know, from a kickboxing, like, oh, kickboxing, you know, watching too many movies on TV. But what you've explained perfectly is just how much an incredibly safe sport it is, and for young kids, and it is just another output for young people.
That's
And
it.
you know, and it's very, very safety conscious, and that's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask. You know what I mean?
Like I said, we want a fight card of fully fit people that are raring to go, you know, because we don't want people just coming off the sofa, so to speak, because that's how accidents happen. So I speak to Amir near the time, and as long as the gyms are flowing, everyone's sparring, getting their pad work in, their bag work, and everyone's, you know, everyone's fit. And once everyone's back and got a bit of confidence back, I think then we'll do our next one is Amateur Kings 10. So it's our 10th one. So I want to do something special. I'm going to do UK vs Europe.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can fly the flag for UK and get the Dutch, the Germans, French. We're going to get them all over, and we're gonna have a big UK vs Europe.
Brilliant. Listen, Aiden, thank you so much for taking the time to join me tonight, man. And hopefully catch up with you in person soon. And we'll have a chat
Absolutely.
about any plans we can get. And as I said, I'm going to work on that boxing and kickboxing bursary to see what we can do for young people, man. That's what I'm going to be doing now. Same as yourself,
Right,
working a full-time job, trying to get these things done. But all we can do is just try and chip away, Aiden. That's all we can do.
that's it. And I just want to say, mate, honestly, I can't thank you enough for all the love and support you've given me, the girls, Amir, the gym, and especially my show. And what you're doing now is nothing short of amazing. And we're rooting for you, mate.
Oh, thank you so much, Aiden. Thanks a million, man. I loved all the girls as well, man. And give him don't give him too much love. Just give him an elbow tap. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'll catch you for a beer maybe sometime soon.
Thanks a million. Cheers, mate.
Take care, buddy. Bye bye.